Let me guess, you are still struggling to wrap your head around how leveling works within Destiny 2. So you've come to the master for guidance. Is this what you are saying, Grasshopper? All Michael Scott jokes aside, leveling in Destiny 2 is confusing, and if you're just casually playing with no outside knowledge, it can take quite some time to fully get a grasp on and understand. That is until this video. You can call me Papa myfi, guarantee that you will walk away from this video fully knowing how leveling within Destiny 2 works. I am going to simplify it to a point that if your 2-year-old toddler is watching, they too will understand how leveling within Destiny 2 works. Now, before we get started, we have a sponsor for today's video. Oh yeah, you know who it is. Look at me, look at me. You're thinking it right now. Raid Shadow Legends! Raid has came in clutch when content in Destiny is super dry, so the least I can do as a thank you for all that they've done is give them a quick plug while the views are up. This game needs no introduction. But for anyone that somehow hasn't heard of Raid, well, it's a beautiful turn-based action RPG game that has so much content, even if you played this game for an entire month straight, you wouldn't run out of stuff to do. If you've ever wanted to support me or the channel, but you might not be financially able to, especially with all that's going on in the world, well, now here's your chance. The goal for this video and the next few weeks is 100 downloads. Just click the link in the description, download the game, play through the tutorial, takes about 5 minutes, and bam, you've just supported me / the channel entirely free of charge. Like I've said before, Raid has so much content that it's literally impossible to run out of champions to collect, team builds to create, dungeon bosses to throw down with, and players to sauce up in the PvP arena. The amount of just stuff to do is my favorite thing about this game. Seriously, if I don't play for just 2 weeks, well, when I hop back on, there's like 2 entire DLCs for me to play through. And speaking of new stuff to do, Raid recently released its biggest ever update, the Doom Tower. It's a giant tower with 120 floors, a bunch of secret challenge rooms, and 12 seriously badass bosses to take on. And I've been having a blast with it so far. On top of that, Raid also just released a bunch of new amazing champions, and there'll be even more coming this month. And with over 500 champions in-game right now, trust me when I say there's a champion for everyone. Download the game using my link in the description and play through at least the tutorial and help your boy get to that 100 install goal. I would seriously appreciate it. Moreover, if you are a new player and use my link, you will get, and wait for it, 50,000 silver plus 50 gems plus 1 energy refill plus 1 clan boss key plus 5 mystery shards plus 1 day XP booster plus 1 free champion Hexweaver. All this treasure will be waiting for you here, so good luck and I'll see you in game. Once again, thank you all so much for not hating me whenever I do sponsorships, as they seriously help out the channel. And without further ado, let's get into the ultimate leveling guide for Destiny 2. So at the time of making this video, we are currently in Season 13 or Season of the Chosen. But hold on, if you're watching this in the future, don't worry. Everything that I'm about to explain is still going to be relevant because how leveling works in Destiny 2 doesn't really change. Okay? Okay. In Destiny 2, there are 3 types of levels: Season Pass levels, Seasonal Artifact levels, and finally, the big one, Power levels. I am going to explain them in that order because, well, Season Pass levels and Seasonal Artifact levels take no time at all, so let's get those out of the way. So starting with the Season Pass, first, what is it? Every new season within Destiny 2 introduces a new Season Pass. Yes, just like Call of Duty, just like Fortnite, just like Apex Legends. The Season Pass is a 100-tiered track that at every new level, you are awarded with some type of loot, whether that be materials, armor, weapons, ornaments, etc. In order to level the Season Pass, you must obtain XP. If you've played literally any game like ever, especially online games, then you know what XP is and how it works. In Destiny 2, it works the same. You complete activities or objectives and you will be awarded with XP. Activities are things like Crucible matches, strikes, gambit matches, and story missions. Objectives in Destiny 2, on the other hand, are called Bounties. Now, there is a brand new system that's kind of like Bounties. These are called seasonal challenges, but in a sense, they're pretty much just like Bounties. Just about every vendor in the game will offer some sort of bounty for you to complete. Bounties are just small tasks that you can go out and do. Once you complete said bounty, you will turn it in and be awarded your XP and more than likely a little something else, like materials or something. You can see exactly what the bounty is going to give you by just looking at the bottom of the bounty before you pick it up. Now, the final thing you should know about the season pass is that most players believe that once a new season is released, anything that was earned but not collected from the prior season pass, because yes, you have to claim every season pass reward manually, is gone forever. But this is false. You can go to the official Bungie site on screen now, sign in, and see the current season pass along with the previous season pass. From there, you can claim anything from the current season pass or the prior season's season pass that you've earned but not yet collected. Now for the seasonal artifact. The seasonal artifact works in a similar way as the season pass. There is a new one every season and you level it up by obtaining XP. Now where they differ is the rewards that you get on rank up. The season pass, as you know, awards loot at every level, but the seasonal artifact rewards, well, it's complicated somewhat. The seasonal artifact has two different XP bars. The first will award artifact unlocks and the second will award power bonuses. The artifact unlocks are points you can use to unlock seasonal artifact mods, you know, the blue mods. I'm not going to go in depth on artifact mods because I already have a video on that you can check out, but just know you can only level up the artifact unlocks XP bar 12 times before you reach the cap. This is because you can only get 12 artifact unlocks / unlock 12 seasonal artifact mods, and it's up to you to choose which mods to unlock based on which mods you think will benefit you the most. Now for the other XP bar I mentioned, the one that awards power bonuses are just that, bonuses to your base power level, which we're about to discuss. So whatever your base power level is, which is being provided by the gear you are using, this bonus will stack on top of that. Power bonuses via the seasonal artifact will make a lot more sense once I actually explain power level. Now, another thing you should know is that the XP bar for power bonuses does not have a cap. This means you could technically get as many power bonuses as you want added on top of your base power level. But you should also know that the XP bar for power bonuses slowly gets harder to level up the more times you level up. So for example, the amount of XP it takes to go from 5 power bonuses to 6 power bonuses is a whole lot less than the amount of XP it would take to get you from 19 power bonuses to 20 power bonuses. Each level, it progressively becomes more XP to get to the next level. And the final thing to remember is that XP you gain from any source will go toward everything that requires XP. So if you do a bounty that rewards 3,000 XP, your season pass will get 3,000 XP, and both the XP bar for artifact unlocks and the XP bar for power bonuses will get 3,000 XP. Nothing gets split, everything gets the full XP amount. Okay, so now that you know literally everything when it comes to leveling up your season pass and seasonal artifact, let's dive into the big one, power level. So what is power level? Power level is what, well, makes you powerful. It's the big number that appears on your character menu screen and is an average of all of your, what I like to call gear levels, the number that's on your pieces of gear, and then rounded down. We'll get into the whole rounding down thing in a bit, but just know that your power level does a few different things. It determines how much damage you receive from enemies and how much damage you do to enemies. So for example, if you go into an activity that has a recommended power level of 1250, but you are 1200, that means you're going to be doing less damage and taking more damage compared to if you went into that same activity at 1250 power. Now, technically, this goes even deeper because the gear level on your weapons also determines how much damage you are doing to enemies. So if we go back to that example I just gave, where the activity you're doing is 1250 and your power level is 1250, but all your gear is, let's say 1260, except for your kinetic, which is 1200, well, that one weapon is going to do significantly less damage. So a general rule of thumb is to use weapons that are around your base power level. Also for that example, the reason you're 1250, even though all your gear is 1260, excluding your weapon, which is 1200, is because your weapon is so far down compared to the rest of your gear that it's dragging your level that far down. Yes, that can happen if you have one piece of gear that is significantly lower than the rest of your gear. Because remember, your base power level is an average of all of your gear levels combined, then rounded down. So now that you understand what power level does, how do you increase it? To understand how increasing your power level works, you need to first understand 3 things: the soft cap, the hard cap, and the pinnacle cap. The soft cap is a level at which you no longer get higher level gear from just playing the game. For example, the soft cap is currently 1250, which means if you're anywhere from 1100, which is the lowest you can be currently in the game, to 1249, you can do literally anything in the game, and the game will keep awarding you weapons and armor that are a higher level gear than your character's base power level. The best way to get to the soft cap of 1250 is by playing playlist activities. This includes the Strike playlist, Crucible matches, and Gambit matches. Once you've hit the soft cap, your next goal should be to hit the hard cap. In order to start progressing to the hard cap / earning gear that is above the soft cap, that being 1250, you must start doing your powerfuls. Powerfuls are challenges that are given to you every week and reset every week. And when you complete said challenge, you will be awarded a piece of gear that is either 3 or 4, depending on the tier of the powerful, gear levels above your character's base power level. Now, you might be wondering, how do you see your base power level? Because I've been saying base power level a lot. In order to do this, hover over your power level on your character menu screen, and it will show beneath the big yellow number, a number in white followed by the word gear. That number in white followed by the word gear is your base power level. And remember, that number is from only your gear and does not include the power bonus from your seasonal artifact. The number of power bonuses that your seasonal artifact is providing can be found to the right of that number in white followed by the word gear, and that number is in blue. It'll be very obvious. It'll be on screen now as well. Like I said, these powerful challenges are given to you weekly, and there is only a certain amount you can do per week. In order to see your powerful challenges and what tier the powerful is, you must go to your directory or map and look for the bright yellow icons. Now, one thing I want to say is that you will not see these bright yellow icons until you hit the soft cap, that being 1250. So if you're 1225 right now and you're like, where are these yellow icons he's talking about? You're not going to see them until you have hit the soft cap of 1250. Now, upon hovering over where you see a yellow icon, it will tell you whether it's a powerful tier 1, a powerful tier 2, or a pinnacle. We'll discuss pinnacles in a second. If it displays a powerful tier 1, then when that powerful rewards objective is complete, you will be awarded with a piece of gear 3 levels above your character's base power level. But if it states powerful tier 2, then it will award a piece of gear 4 levels above your character's base power level. Now, here's where the waters start to get murky when it comes to leveling up to the hard cap. You are not guaranteed to get a powerful piece of gear that you need to progress your character's base power level. For example, you just hit the soft cap of 1250. You do a powerful tier 1 challenge, which is a +3, and you get a helmet that is 1253, which is an upgrade to your previous helmet, which was 1250. Remember how I just said +3? But then you realize that your character's base power level is still 1250. This is where the rounding down thing comes in that I mentioned earlier. You have a total of 8 pieces of gear, meaning that if all your pieces of gear are 1253 except for one piece that is 1252, then you are going to be 1252 and 7/8. But the game doesn't care and is going to round you down to just be a flat 1252. So it takes 8 what I like to call gear levels to increase your character's base power level. Getting back to the original example, all your gear is 1250 except for the new helmet you just got, that's 1253. But because those 3 extra gear levels on your helmet don't equal 8 gear levels, your character's base power level is still 1250, meaning the next powerful reward you get, assuming it's a tier 1 powerful, is still going to be 1253. At this point, you just have to hope and pray that the next powerful reward you get is anything except a helmet, because if it's a helmet, then you're still in the same boat of needing another piece that is going to add to those 3 gear levels that your new 1253 helmet is providing you to get you closer to 8 gear levels to increase your character's base power level. But on the flip side, let's say that your second powerful reward you got was a kinetic weapon. Well, you're now only 2 gear levels away from achieving a character power level, because now all your pieces of gear are 1250 except your 1253 helmet and your 1253 kinetic weapon that you just got, meaning your actual power level is 1250 and 6/8. 3 gear levels plus 3 gear levels equals 6 out of 8, meaning you only need to do one more powerful reward that isn't a helmet or kinetic to achieve a character power level of 1251. The best way to track how many gear levels you need to increase your base power level is to go to a website called Destiny Item Manager, and I cannot stress this enough. If everything I just said is still super confusing to you, Destiny Item Manager will literally clear everything up, because it puts it in this nice, neat little format that is super easy to understand. So please, honestly, Destiny Item Manager should seriously write me a check because I have plugged their stuff in videos that have done amazing. Destiny Item Manager is what I use to min-max. It's what I use to beat the raid on day one by helping me prep. Seriously, if you're not using Destiny Item Manager, please use it. It is so helpful. I cannot stress this enough. Once you are on Destiny Item Manager, go under your character's emblem and it will display 3 things: your character's total power level, your character's base gear level, and your artifact bonus. From there, click on the maximum power of all gear. Then a pop-up box at the bottom of the screen will appear, letting you know your base power level and which pieces of gear you have that are below and above your base power level. It'll literally be in like red if it's below or green if it's above. It will also indicate how far below and above in terms of gear level those certain of pieces are from your base power level. So it literally tells you just in a simple format, hey, go out and try to get this gear piece higher, or hey, this gear piece is already super high, so you don't need another one. Now, the best way to hit the hard cap of 1300 is by min-maxing. Now, I'm not going to go super in depth on min-maxing, as just doing all your powerfuls each week and playing the game will get you there eventually. Plus, this is a guide for dummies. Technically, I'm dumbing it down a lot. And min-maxing is more of an advanced strategy, but I will briefly explain it for those that might be curious. It's essentially doing just enough powerful challenges to get you up one level and then going and grinding activities such as strikes to get gear that is below your base power level to your base power level. For example, you are 1250 base power and you went and did 3 tier 1 powerful challenges. You got lucky because min-maxing involves, honestly, a lot of luck, and got 3 pieces of gear you needed, and you got no dupes. This means you are now 1251 base power level because 3 pieces of gear went from 1250 to 1253, so 3 pieces of gear going up 3 gear levels is 3 plus 3 plus 3, and that equals 9. And remember, it takes 8 gear levels to reach a power level. So that 9 out of 8 gear levels is actually 1 and 1 ace. So that's going to bring your base power up by 1. So now you would go and grind strikes or just something until you get every single piece of gear that is 1250 to 1251. Because sometimes playlist activities will drop items at your power level, even if it's above the hard cap. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. At this point, 5 more gear levels were just added to the original 1251 and 1 ace, now making it 1251 and 6 ace, which isn't going to increase your base power level, but now you only need to do 1 more powerful challenge and you will be at 1252 base power. From there, you would just rinse and repeat, going out, doing powerfuls one by one, just enough to just go up 1 singular power level and then going and grinding out the rest of your gear to get it up to that power level. Yeah, min-maxing is definitely the fastest way to hit the hard cap, but just doing your powerfuls and playing the game will get you to the hard cap without all that extra tracking of every little single piece and doing all that math. Now, the last thing I will say about the hard cap is that if you happen to do a pinnacle challenge, because remember I said that all those yellow little icons on the map, some of them are pinnacles, and you do it while you're below the hard cap, they will drop 5 gear levels above your base power level. And you might be thinking, well, why don't I just do those and not powerfuls, because those award, higher level drops? Well, that's because there are less pinnacle challenges compared to powerful challenges, plus you want to save pinnacle challenges for when you hit the hard cap, and now want to hit the pinnacle cap of 1310, because pinnacle challenges are the only way to get you from 1300 to 1310 base. Speaking of the pinnacle cap, let's discuss it. The pinnacle cap is literally the same and works borderline the same as the hard cap, just more grindy, as there are, like I said, less pinnacle challenges per week compared to powerfuls, and pinnacles only award 2 gear levels above your current character's base power level, assuming you are at or above 1300, because remember, if you're below the hard cap, then they award 5 above. The pinnacle cap is 1310 and is the highest you can get to in the game currently. So yes, if you know how the hard cap works, then you know how the pinnacle cap works, because they work pretty much the same. There's just a few differences. Plus, the pinnacle cap is only 10 gear levels, where the hard cap is an entire 50 gear levels. Now, some final things you should know is that you do not need to be wearing your highest level gear to get higher level gear to drop. For example, if your character's base power is 1230 and you have full 1230 gear, but it's in your inventory or your vault and you're wearing all 1200 gear, well, the game realizes this and will still award you higher than 1230 gear. So don't freak out thinking you need to have that highest level of gear on to get higher gear. The game is smart and will realize this. The other thing to take note of is that this video will be viable for future seasons, as how leveling works in Destiny 2 doesn't really change. Just the actual levels that I reference in this video will. Each new season, the power cap goes up by about 50. So next season, season 14, the soft cap will be 1300, the hard cap will be 1350, and the pinnacle cap will be 1360. So just scale whatever I reference in this video for future seasons or whatever season that you're currently in at the time of watching this. And the final thing is involving the artifact bonus. Some activities in the game disable your artifact power bonus, such as Iron Banner or Trials of Osiris. So that's why it's important to have a high base power level and not just grind XP for artifact power bonuses and never actually try to get your base power level up. Also, yes, because I know some of you all are wondering this, the bonus power from your artifact does act pretty much the same way as just getting a higher base power level, in a sense that it increases how much damage you can take from enemies and deal to enemies. And finally, because I know people are going to comment this, yes, if you're in the tower or anywhere in the game and you see someone that's, let's say, 1350 right now on season 13, no, that does not mean their gear is 1350. I've had a ton of people, anytime I try to give them advice on how to level, come back and tell me, oh, well, I saw someone that was super high level, so you're wrong because you said the pinnacle cap was this and they were way above that. Okay, just inspect them, hover over their power level, and it will tell you what their base power level is and what their artifact bonus is. I guarantee right now, throughout the entirety of season 13, you will never, ever, ever run into someone that is a higher base power level than 1310, because that is literally the cap. With the seasonal artifact power bonuses, you can go higher, but the actual gear cap is 1310. And that is your ultimate leveling guide within Destiny 2. If you still need assistance or have questions, then please just join my community Discord. We have over 4,500 members from all over the world on all different platforms that play Destiny 2. So if you have any questions, then that's the place to ask them. Or if you just want to find people to play with, because we have LFGs for every platform. Seriously, join the Discord. If you enjoyed this massive leveling guide, or if you've ever found any of my videos helpful, then feel free to subscribe. I'm not going to beg you, but we are closing in on that big 100K. So if you want to be part of my eventual world domination, once we hit 100K, then you know where the sub button is. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then feel free to drop a like, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.